Hello crafters and welcome to a very special video here at justonemorecard.com. This is Julia and today I want to talk about coloring. Currently I'm participating in the Daily Marker 30-Day Challenge, as you can see here on the screen with the hashtag, that is hosted by Kathy Rakusin from the blog The Daily Marker. And the point is to carve out 5 to 10 minutes of coloring each day. And these are the three pieces I've done so far. I've recorded this video on the 4th day. So this first image from Make It Crafty, I think, I've colored with these Stabilo pens, which will be the stars of today's video. The second piece I've colored with my new Inktense pencils, and I will feature them later on. But I've got the most questions about this third piece. These are W+9 butterflies from Flora and Fauna 2, and I've colored these as well with the Stabilo pens, and I've also created the background. And you guys have been asking for a video, and so I'm going to give you a short introduction to the Stabilo pens and then show the coloring. So, about these pens, you need watercolor paper. This is the cheapest watercolor paper I could find. I mostly prefer the Canson XL paper, but the Jackson one is like €5 or €6 for the entire pad, so that's super cheap paper. It's also very, very thin. I just want to show you don't need like Tim Holtz watercolor paper or anything fancy. Any watercolor paper will do. Now, as with all markers, you want colors that blend nicely if you want to do color blends. These behave differently than your Copic markers, and please check out my blog post because I'm going into much more detail there as well than I can do here in the video. If you've followed what I was doing here just now, when you blend these colors, not unlike Copics, you don't start from the middle of the other color. You start where you left off with the color, and then you blend out from there. You don't add layers upon layers with these pens. It simply doesn't work. But you can go in with a water brush and then blend out the colors. And you can see I'm scribbling off to the side here because I want the colors to soften out. And sometimes I have so much color in the brush that I would color over the lighter colors. Now, to illustrate this point, I've drawn a balloon here. Please don't mock my drawing. You can see that the light source comes from the upper right, so that would be the lightest, and in the lower left would be the darkest. If you would do this with Copics, if you would apply the same principle to the Stabilo pens, and I'm only doing this very sketchy, please don't mock my coloring, I'm only trying to illustrate a point. You can see how I pick up the darkest color with the middle marker, like right where the darkest color left off, and I blend it out a bit until I've colored the middle part of the balloon, and then I'm picking up the middle color a little bit with my lightest marker and blend it out to the lightest color. Now, if you color your entire image in like this, as you would do with Copic markers, and then go in with your water brush, you will simply overpower your lightest color. There's no way for you to blend because these colors are super, super intense. They are like rock music to the Copic's classical tunes, if you want to say it like this. What you should do instead is basically lay down your darkest shade where it would be darkest. Come in and blend it out a little bit with your middle shade. And again, I'm only sketching this out. You will probably even need less color than I'm putting down here. And then you come in with your lightest color. You can only do 2 colors, whatever you please. And then don't pick up the very darkest color. At the furthest, go into the middle color and then blend it out with your water brush or aqua brush, whatever. Just a regular brush will work. And you can see that you can get very soft tones, but you need to leave yourself room to blend, otherwise it will not work. All right, so now we're gonna look at this in action. Now, since you've been asking for the butterflies, I'm using the Flora and Fauna 2 stamp set by W+9, and I'm using archival black ink and stamping this on mixed media cardstock. Mixed media might also work, you have to check it out, but usually if it works with watercolor, it might also work with these pens. And I'm only masking off like parts of the butterfly like very exactly because I already know how the drift here will work, so I don't need the entire butterfly covered. And you can see when I remove the mask how this works. Now, here are the colors that I'm using. I will always show you the colors that I'm using, and you can see it's the 32, 31, and 11. The 68 means those are the pens with the thicker tip. They're like fine liners as well, and they are not the 68 pens. So 68 just indicates that these are like thicker pens. The second number, like the 11 after the slash, that was the actual color number. Now when you color, you put down your darkest color first, and you have to remember you cannot layer here, at least not when you put the markers directly to paper. So you put down your darkest color, blend it a little bit out with the middle color, and then come in with your lightest color. Then you grab your water brush and you blend out the color. Now I always wipe off the brush, like right now, off to the side, because I usually have so much ink on the brush that it I wouldn't have enough room to blend it out to the very lightest color. And by cleaning off my brush to the side, I can make sure that I can blend out into a very light tone. And you can see me here sometimes use a swirly motion, and that's just, I find that this helps me to blend this better. You can see again here going in with the brush, pulling it out, cleaning off the brush, and then blending it out to a very, very light shade. So the middle part of the butterfly, the part of the wings that is very close to the body, is dark, and then it's lighter. And now, since you probably don't want to hear me talk all the time, I'm gonna let you watch me color, and I'll see you on the flip side. Alright, now that you've watched me coloring, I also want to create a background for these butterflies. I have blended out two dark colors. One is the black, the 46, and one is a very, very dark gray, the 97. And you can see the black gives you more of a warmer tone, and the gray gives you more of a cooler tone when you blend it out. I've already done the gray for my first piece, so I'm choosing the black here, and I'm only tracing the outlines of the butterfly very lightly with the black, coming in with a brush loaded with water, and then blending it out. You can see I'm only touching the tip of the brush to the black line that I've drawn, and then I blend it out as far as the water lets me go. This will ensure that I get a very, very soft blend. And you can see I'm repeating this always in sections to make sure that the pen, like what I've put down, the color, it stays wet, and it will be much easier for me to blend. I'm sorry, I can't talk. It's like 9:30 in the evening. I've had a long work day after already behind me, so blah. But you can see what I'm doing here, right? And just to illustrate the point again here, touching the tip of my brush to the black, pulling it out, and the brush is loaded with water, and you can see how easy it is to blend it out, and you get the effect. It looks as if the butterflies are casting a shadow even. It's absolutely fascinating. I discovered this by complete accident. And that you just go around the entire butterfly drift. It's a very, very relaxing thing. I enjoyed it very much. Now, the blending out wasn't quite as even as I wanted it to be, so I've just grabbed one acrylic block, scribbled some marker onto it, coming in with the brush, lots of water, and picking up just the lightest amount of this color. And you can see I'm using it here to blending out the more uneven parts. And you can see that from a very streaky, well, surrounding or cloudy background, I'm going to a much more even one. You don't have to do this. If you prefer this tricky kind of background, that's completely fine. This is completely up to you. There's no right or wrong, because this is you creating. Do whatever you like. This is just what I like best, and so I'm smoothing out some of the more uneven areas, as you can see me do here. Remember, this is reactive with water, so if you get into the brighter colors, it will react with the water and it will become muddy, so be careful when you do this. Then I grabbed my white gel pen and just added some dots here on the butterflies, and especially around the butterflies. Since the dark gives me some contrast, it's really a lot of fun to put some white dots in there as well. It just makes the card more lively. And then I've grabbed my Jelly Roll Stardust pen, which is a glitter pen, and just added some glitter accents here as well. And it's very subtle. You don't see it right away when you look at the piece, but it's just so much fun once it catches the light. I had to do this. I've mounted this panel on a green card base, stamped this thanks stamp. This is from Hero Arts, and this is the card, all done. You can see that it sparkles a bit, and you have these really, really vibrant colors that you've created with these cheap pens. Don't forget to check out my blog post. I've linked to it in the description below for more information on these pens. If you have any questions or remarks, leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. See you again soon. Bye!